difference after a win? And I know how silly that sounds, but finally picking one up just around the program?
It felt good. We've been needing one of those for a long time, and it took us a while to get to this point, and playing a lot of young kids that have grown and matured over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and made themselves better football players. But it was good. Good feeling in the locker room as well. And I told them to remember this feeling, because this is what it feels like, and it's a great feeling. And hopefully today's practice shows that hey, if we just keep doing the right things and practicing hard and doing things the right way, maybe we can get another win as well. But it does feel a lot better. These interviews are a lot easier. After a win as well, and I'm proud of the kids and the way they performed on Saturday. And I know there's still some things we got to get cleaned up, and we still got to play more physical. But overall, they found a way to get the win, and that's the most important thing.
Felt like there was more of a sense of urgency is the right word, but just passion, all those things. It felt different Saturday. Is it fair to say?
Yeah, it did, and there's a lot of kids that were, having their opportunity to get their first start, and they wanted to show that they could play for us and they could do great things for us. And when you have that passion, that fire, usually great things happen. And the kids played motivated, and we had a lot of things go our way, as well. There wasn't really anything in that game that really hurt us, to make us panic or make us, our thoughts go any other direction but that we're going to win this football game. And we had the lead, and our kids just stayed confident and played hard and played physical. But I'm proud of the way they handled the situation and the things that they did, and they just got to continue to get better this week. But the passion was there, and you could see it especially in the young kids, just the passion to want to go out and fight and do anything they possibly could to get this win. And that's probably what I'm most proud of, just to see their grit and their fight. And they made some few mistakes. They didn't let that get them down. They just continued to play hard and work hard.
You made some changes on the offensive line. When did you make that decision, and why did you make that decision, and your evaluation of their performance?
Just made a decision just based off performance from previous games, and and performance in practice, and practice habits a lot of times determine how you're going to play. And we feel like these young men practiced properly and did the things they needed to do to get themselves on the field. And so we went with them pretty early in the week, and so they could prepare themselves to play this game. And it was made pretty quick. They had the heart, the passion, and the fight, and the drive, and wanted to go out there and do great things. You could just tell by how they practiced. So, and I thought they did very well for their first game. I mean, I really do. And they're only going to get better as the years go on. And but it still was the first game. It was a probably a little bit quicker movement than what they were used to, just because of practices and things like that. But I think once they got used to the speed of the game, they did really well.
Do you anticipate going with that same line in the next game Saturday?
As of now, yeah. Because they did the things they needed to do to help us win a ball game, and they helped us rush for over 200 yards as well. They protect our quarterback very well, and as long as they keep doing the things they do in practice, those will be the same guys. And unless the other guys kind of step up and show that they are the guys, and then we're going to go the same crew that we had last week.
Emporia State is 2 possessions away from being undefeated and one of the top 5 ranked teams in the country. What makes them so good this year?
Just their whole team dynamic. I mean, they're very good in all phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. Offensively, they're very high tempo, and don't let you really change guys in and out to get rest, through a series. But then they can slow it down on you as well. But you still kind of cautious about rotating guys in, because you don't know how fast they're going to snap the ball. Quarterback gets the ball out of his hands very quickly. They have a very strong run game as well. And they got very good receivers, and the quarterback does scramble and buy himself some time when he needs to, and, he runs well. And then defensively, they're solid across the board. I feel like they got a lot of speed on defense with their linebackers and their secondary. Their D-line does a good job of, getting off the ball and trying to create havoc, throughout games. But then their special teams are very solid as well. So I think it's just the whole package, is what you're getting with Emporia right now, with them offensively, defensively, and special teams-wise. And that's what makes them so good. They kind of put it all together, and they play very well together, and they always put each other in good situations.
Is it hard to simulate this week in practice what they do offensively with just the speed, and how can you prepare for that?
It's hard, it's really hard. So really just kind of keep the same old line, down, just kind of tell them what the play is, and, you just run in your skill guys, your receivers and running backs, just back and forth as fast as you possibly can. But it's still hard to simulate. But we're going to do our best to do that. But our kids just got to be ready, and it really comes down to just looking to the sideline quick, getting the call, and getting it communicated across the board. And if we can do that, we'll be all right. Probably not going to be a lot of calls, when you got an offense like this, which I think is why they're so fast to the ball, because you can't get a lot of things done blitz wise. And with motions and things like that of really getting after them. So I think that's why they're so successful offensively. Just they don't give you time to really get set up and kind of get your feet grounded and get ready. You just got to kind of play, quick and fast and easy and go make the plays when your number's called.
Your evaluation of the defense from last week, I know that one thing you were really wanting is creating more turnovers, being more aggressive on defense. You were able to get some on Saturday in San Brant, Defensive Player of the Week. Your thoughts about how the defense was able to do something like that?
They played well. I thought they did some really good things. Still gave up a few too many big plays, which is something that's kind of hurt us all year. One did lead to a touchdown as well, but I think if we can eliminate those things, it'll be better. I still think we can tackle better. I still think we're stopping our feet on contact, as well. But overall performance, I thought they did a good job. But we just got to, we have to tackle better, and we got to see what we're hitting, and we have to run our feet, through the tackle, and we really weren't doing that. You saw us dive around a lot, try to make ankle tackles and things like that, and sometimes we took some poor angles, but it gets better every week. It's a lot better than what it was week one, and they're going to continue to improve this week, to hopefully tackle better this week and not give up the big play, and that's the most important thing. If we can do that this week, is not give up the big play and make them earn everything, good things can happen. But we have to make sure the first guy makes the tackle instead of missing, and then have to have 2 or 3 other guys come to the rescue.
Randy mentioned the changes you made in going with some new guys, some younger guys. Maybe it doesn't matter, but how did the older guys handle that on game day and during the game? I know you're involved in coaching, obviously, but did you notice how they handled things?
I really didn't pay too much attention. I just kind of do my, when it's offenses out there, I watch the offense. When defense is out there, I watch the defense. But I can say, I know Pat Kelly for sure, was very involved, with that crew the entire week, watching film with them, even during pregame meals, sitting down with the guys and making sure, they were going through things that, just to make sure that we solidify some things up, with the O-line. But, the other ones really didn't pay too much attention in the game. I was just watching the young guys and seeing them perform, and was very excited about the way they were doing, the things they were doing. And, they played hard, and they made the right calls. There wasn't a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Gave us room to run, so we're going to keep rolling with those guys as long as they keep doing those things. And we'll see what happens with the other guys this week. Do they step up in practice and try to get their spots back, or are they just going to settle for being the backups?
It seemed like the first couple of series, it took them a little bit to get used to the speed that you mentioned. Were you surprised how quickly, though, they adjusted to it?
No, with those new guys, I'm not. They're quick learners. They're eager. They're hungry. They want to play. They're a scrappy bunch. And, I figured once they figured out the speed of the game and kind of what was happening and kind of felt it out, they'd do a good job. And that's exactly what they did, just because you see it in practice as well. And just some things that, some of those guys have a few little bumps and bruises here, but they're still fighting through those things. But, some of the older guys wouldn't do that. But these guys wanted to be on the field, and they wanted to play, and they wanted to help their team out. And, you could see that after about the second series, our guys really locked in and focused and really started getting some movement, on their defensive line.
Jack seemed calmer, for lack of a better word. Was this maybe his best game of the year?
I think so, and I think it just helped out. We're able to establish a run game, which always helps a quarterback out, and then it kind of opens up the pass game as well. I thought he scrambled very well, for us. Has some two really big scrambles that kept drives alive. I thought he threw the ball better, and I think just simplifying our offense just a little bit last week to kind of help him out. Help keep him a little bit calmer, but he seemed better this week than he did the week before. And, and even Ethan came in and did a good job when he was in there as well. But Jack and Ethan are both just, slowly getting better, and they're improving each week. And hopefully we'll see that again this week.
Those two again this week in all likelihood?
Yeah, all likelihood will be those two again. I just don't think chance is quite there yet. So, we'll just roll with these two. And I don't want to put a kid on the field that's not quite ready yet and re-injure anything. So hopefully we're one more week away. But right now, with those two, I feel like we still got a good shot to win the game.
So you don't think Chance is ready this week? What about some of the other players that may or not be ready, like Mike Keys or some of the others?
It'll be kind of a day-to-day practice with these guys this week. Bucky will be kind of limited this week to see how he performs. He's getting very, very close. I think he's right at the tip of breaking that point of where he can actually play. Perez should be back, hopefully. Minges should be back as well, and a couple other guys. Hopefully, we can get back too. So, just a lot of guys down right now. But I really feel like the young guys that have stepped in have done a pretty darn good job of stepping in and playing, and and that's good for them for the future because they're going to need those reps, going into next year anyway.
Talking about Sam Brandt, the conference player of the guy mainly on special teams for you, and then gets his opportunity and has had a big game.
He had a tremendous game. A couple pass breakups, had an interception. Ton of tackles. Probably could have had 10 more if he would have kept running his feet. But he did a good job. He really played hard, and Sam's a good football player, and you can see that when he steps on the field. He's playing with some confidence now and doing the things that we're asking him to do. But he makes a lot of plays on special teams, and you can start to see that carry over to the defensive side of the ball now. And as long as he keeps doing the things that he's doing, like he does in the weight room and on the practice field, he's going to continue to get better. He's going to continue to help this team with his play.
When you make as many changes as you do in a specific position group as you did last week, does that get the attention of the other players on the team also that, hey, I need to perform? Does that serve as a motivation factor in any way?
Yeah, you hope so. You hope you have, competition, every week for positions. And, you're hoping your kids, do the things they need to do to get themselves on the field and to start, and kids just not being satisfied with being backups. And that's something that this team probably needs to mature on a little bit is competing every single day for positions and not just being satisfied with being a backup. And you hope it resonates over with other guys and seeing those things that, hey, we're going to play the guys that put the most effort in week to week, and it really isn't based off of talent. It's based on your performance. Because sometimes less talent, if it works hard, will outperform a kid that's pretty talented that doesn't work. And these kids that we played, they knew exactly what they were doing. They studied film. They're in their playbooks. They watched film together. They communicated weekly throughout the week on what they were going to call things and how they saw things, and when you get a group of guys like that, great things happen. So hopefully, some of our older guys learned, from these young guys and how to perform and how to prepare for a football game.
Did you do anything special to celebrate the win?
Went home and relaxed, and that's really about it. Not much. It was nice to have a 1 o'clock game and actually get home at a decent hour and actually just get to sit down and watch somebody else. And because those night games, you really don't get to watch any other games at all because you're too busy. You're too focused on your game and getting ready for a pregame meal and doing a morning walkthrough to make sure the kids are up. But it was nice just to go home and sit, down with the wife, watch some football and relax a little bit.
Football and not Netflix?
Not Netflix. No, it's always football. You're always trying to learn somehow, and sometimes you see some things on TV that you might want to use someday.